Those of you who are familiar with the Red Dead Redemption modding scene might have heard of a mod called Red Dead Redemption Damned Enhancement Project. This of course being an HD mod for Red Dead Redemption. The first version of the mod, which was scheduled to be released in December of this year, offered a wide array of graphic upgrades, ranging from increased lighting, custom 4K textures, more vibrant colors, better looking rain, more tumbleweed, and much more. Now this mod was primarily meant to be used in-game on the Xbox 360 Xenia emulator, as well as on the PlayStation 3 RPCS3 emulator. As soon as the mod got announced, people were excited and impressed. When modders do a better job than the company itself. Ooh. Many believe that the mod would eventually get taken down by none other than Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two Interactive, you know, Rockstar's parent company, the same company that sent private investigators to harass a Borderlands YouTuber after he talked about Borderlands 3 information that had accidentally been made public by one of the trailers for the game. But like I said, people were excited, impressed, and above all, paranoid. The project was announced in August of this year, and now, less than a month later, has been cancelled due to Take-Two Interactive harassing the author of the project. GamingDamned, a longtime member of the GTA and Red Dead Redemption modding communities, recently received phone calls from Take-Two representatives threatening legal action. Take-Two even called his family despite the fact that they obviously had nothing at all to do with the project. And from there, Take-Two Interactive did a bit of research and actually found a bunch of private information belonging to this person. They harassed his family, condescendingly talked down to him on the phone. They absolutely refused to specify what it is about the mod that they have a problem with. They've been absolutely relentless in convincing him to take down the mod without telling anyone why. Because God forbid they allow him to tell people why he would do such a thing. Even something as innocuous and perfectly reasonable as asking them why they're doing what they're doing immediately results in them cutting him off, talking down to him, threatening legal action, and refusing to let him ask any further questions. They've made up their minds, and in their minds, what they say goes. And you? Well, you're just a pissant. As a matter of fact, you should be grateful that Take-Two is being kind enough and forgiving enough to just resort to, you know, harassing you and your family instead of directly just taking you to court to settle this. You should count yourself lucky that Take-Two is just resorting to intimidation tactics by collecting any details they can find on you. This is basically what GamingDamned has been dealing with for over a week, and so I decided to reach out to GamingDamned and offer him a chance at telling his side of the story. Most of you know what happened to Submotto, and knowing how much Take-Two Interactive loves to play dirty, even going as far as filing 63 false DMCAs on Submotto's channel, I just want to take this opportunity to make sure that people know about this. We, as fans of Rockstar games, be it the bully community, the GTA community, the Red Dead Redemption community, whatever fan base you may or may not be involved with, we should not tolerate this. So, what you're about to listen to is an interview I did with GamingDamned. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that in a few seconds from now, but before I do that, I just want to ask that you stick around till the end of the video, because I do have something that I need your help with. Why don't you tell us about how this all began? What was the catalyst for Take-Two contacting you about this?
Pretty much, they just, out of the blue, they just contacted me, and they literally just went and somehow obtained a lot of my information that was not public, and I gave them, like, literally no permission at all, and then they went as far as contacting my mother, and God knows any other family members I have not even contacted yet. They refused to tell me on what grounds and why they're doing this, and they're just saying fluff words, and pretty much they're just, you know, harassing me and bullying me, telling me if I did say anything, they would sue me.
So they specifically told you, like, hey, you know, be quiet about this. Don't actually, like, make an announcement about us contacting you, and especially not about us contacting your family members or anything like that.
Yeah, pretty much they just said if I say anything, then they would sue, and basically just telling me if I were to do it, you know, in good faith that they won't do anything, but we all know that's not going to happen.
So they've made up their minds. They're pursuing legal action, whether or not you cancel this project or not.
For when I've talked to them, yeah, they most likely are possibly in their office right now doing something right now about it.
Do you think it might be an instance of them, attempting in some way to have less people pay attention to this?
Sure, yeah, because they're just trying to go and hush you up and say they're going to do something and just to sweep it under the rug. And the same thing with the Matto guy. He literally was paying attention to one of their videos. He went to their Twitch channel, saw all the private stuff on there. When he reported on it, Take-Two saw that. They were like, oh, and then that's what happened to him.
What is the point of contention between Take-Two Interactive and you doing this project? Have they told you anything at all specifically?
Not really. I mean, it's the same thing as like any other mod for GTA, and the same thing with OpenIV. They tried, then they failed, and they got backlash, and they just said, oh well, we're just gonna let it happen. I think that's just what's gonna happen with this. The more people out there saying that they want this, then they're gonna have no choice to just drop the case.
You are in the process of contacting a lawyer about this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The lawyer is still working on the case right now. We got like 4 possible angles, maybe more. Right now, it take a couple of weeks, could take months to compile a case, and then we're going to contact a lawyer that contacted me. And then if that person does not want to comply, then we're going to talk to somebody higher up at Take-Two. That's pretty much our steps at the moment.
I would assume like you're at least partially including the fact that they've been contacting you and your family, even though your family obviously had nothing to do with the making of this mod. I could kind of understand like if they contacted a kid's parents, but I mean like, you're an adult.
Exactly.
To me, that seems like flat out harassment. There's no need for them to take that route, and yet they did it anyway.
I'm 25, and honestly, that's kind of petty just to contact somebody's parents. I mean, they had nothing to do with it, and like my mother, when I interviewed her, she just like was just flat out like flabbergasted that even happened at all.
Maybe you don't want to talk about this, but like, could that be part of your case? Because to me, that seems like flat out harassment.
To be honest, I mean, for a lot of people, I've been reading comments on Reddit, YouTube, Twitter. There's a lot of people saying, well, in cases like if you're violating something, they have the right to do it. But honestly, not really, because if they didn't want to tell me what they had on me or the reasons, they don't have a case. And however they got the information, that's a huge legal issue.
Yeah, because some of the stuff you mentioned was like, private email addresses that they somehow get a hold of. They like went out of their way to find as much information as possible, even to the extent that they're going far beyond what's publicly available.
Yeah, certainly. I know that's a huge violation case in the United States. They don't allow that at all, even for a company.
So what was the phone call like? You talked to one of their representatives, I assume?
Yeah, I talked to one of their representatives, and it seemed very unprofessional. They weren't like 100% told what the situation was. That person didn't want me to speak at all, and they're just using a lot of fluff words, and it's just, I'll tell you what you need to do, and you need to just keep your mouth shut, basically.
So it's kind of like they're being as vague as possible, and the only intention they have is to tell you to just admit defeat. They're not there to inform you about what it is exactly that they think you've done wrong.
Yeah, certainly. They just want to do whatever they want. They want to bully you. They want to hush you, and they're just trying to, like you said, damage control and whatnot.
Yeah, this is not the first time they've done something like this. Like I said, Submatto.
Another case that you may also want to mention is those 2 people who had the dev kit and that had the beta version of GTA 5. They were also harassed as well.
I heard about that. And another case, somebody making a GTA 4 or GTA 5 Red Dead Redemption mod or something to that effect.
Yeah, I was actually one of the original developers that we were actually porting the Red Dead 1's map into GTA 5. Same lawyer, of course, had contacted us, and luckily I'm the only one who's actually going to be standing up against it,
They're aiming to just silence you and nobody else.
Yeah, like, it's just baffling that they did that for no reason. If they don't have no case, then obviously I'm just going to contest it, because I know they don't got nothing on me, to be honest. Most of my edits to version 1 that will be releasing, or was going to be releasing in December, those files, most of them are text and numbers based on there. Pretty much it's just like turning off and on and configuring, and I mean, it's not reverse engineering, it's just
yeah, so they're like straight up just like data files. So it's not like an in-game trainer that would somehow be able to be used in multiplayer, because I mean, like, as you mentioned in your video, using this in multiplayer, it's not recommended, and even if someone were to do that, they would promptly get banned. But even, like, if they were to somehow bypass that ban, it's a visual mod. It's not something that grants you access to, like, weaponry or items or vehicles or something like that. This is purely aesthetic.
Yeah.
I checked out the thread of the mod, and you made it clear that you condemn people pirating the game. You're not going to provide them with even instructions on how to install the mod itself. So there's no instance of you providing people with anything that would be illegal or reverse engineered or like anything that violates the copyright there. I mean, like, this is straight up just like a basic visual mod. People have done this kind of thing for Grand Theft Auto 5 so many times, but because it's a console game and it pertains to game emulation on PC, or like console emulation rather. Do you think that might be the issue they take, the fact that they feel like that could incentivize people to pirate the game?
Well, the way that the game industry is, I think it's just a bunch of old people in a chair and just sitting around, don't understand games, and then they think that, it's gonna cause piracy, like you said, and other things, but in reality, they didn't really did their research well enough to understand it. It's just, just a mod, and it's just a visual thing. It has nothing to do with anything that related, Me personally, I think it would drive up sales. I mean, looking at my stats and all the interest, I'm pretty sure that there is a huge market still for the PC fan base if they were to release it. And if they don't, and me looking at it and studying and researching the game, I could tell you the code is messy. Everything is just everywhere on there in the RPF system. It's just, I don't think that's even possible for them even to port it to PC, even if they wanted to, and they should just allow it to happen so then they can reclaim their sales on there.
I don't know if you recall this, but back in 2012 or so, rumor had it that they were planning a Red Dead Redemption PC port, but then, a few months later, eventually an anonymous developer at Rockstar stepped up and said, no, we're not going to do that because, like, the code it's basically too much of a cluster for us to do that.
To be honest, because like I said, I looked at it and I can confirm that developer is pretty much correct. As far as I know, this was a PS2 game originally, and that got pushed into the PS3 cycle. If they were to make a DLC for Red Dead 2, maybe, but at the current state of the game, there's no way for them to remaster it or re-release it at its current state.
So what are your plans going forth? Like, what do you intend to do if it comes to, legal action or them backing off? Like, what do you see the possible outcomes as?
I mean, I guess just to try to either move on to Red Dead 2 or do another Rockstar game, which is already in the plans. I am working on Max Payne 3 right now, but I'm pretty sure with what we have on Take-Two, I don't think they're going to win this. And if they were to try to do something, I think they would take a plea deal with me, and we can make some conditions and go over what exactly they think it is, and then me trying to clarify it to them. And I think then they will be like, okay, but I guess it's up in the air on that.
Has there been anything they've done or said that you feel they've stepped over the line by doing? Like, do you feel like there's anything else they're doing that, you want to bring to people's attention?
Well, to be honest, and I know Take-Two is most likely going to watch any video on this subject anyways, I just want somebody at higher up at Take-Two and Rockstar, whoever I have to talk to, Dan Houser, Sam Houser, I don't care. I just want to talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about, so I can actually explain to them what this project is, and I can give them the files, and they'll look at it, and it will confirm that it's just in their EULA, and everything is, going to be fine on there. My lawyer and I were confident that they have literally nothing, and I think that I would love to talk to somebody higher up over there so I can clarify this to them.
A bunch of gaming news sites, they've written a bunch of articles about your project. A lot of these articles, they tend to portray it as like something official, like there's an HD remaster of Red Dead Redemption on the horizon, and it's a big deal. And in reality, it's a fan-made project, which granted is sitting at like 95,000 views on YouTube, but it's nothing major or official coming from Rockstar themselves. Do you feel like these kind of misleading articles played at least a partial role in Take-Two pursuing legal action?
Pretty much. I mean, I would say the highest percentage on there, maybe at least 95% of it. I tried contacting them and they don't want to do it. I had contacts with PC Gamer and DOS Gaming or whatever you call them. I had told them about my new video and I want them to make clarifications, and they refused to write all the corrections I want them to do. So
even editing the articles they currently have up, like they're refusing to make any kind of adjustments to correct what they misrepresented.
Yeah, I try my best, and you know, I guess it's because I called them out on my video and they don't want to correct it, but pretty much they're just being petty about it right now.
So there you have it. Please share this around. Let people know what's going on. Contact any person with a platform you might know of who would be interested in talking about this. And let's be clear, intimidation tactics, abuse of the DMCA, and harassing people's families, none of this is acceptable. You know, I love Rockstar, I do, but I cannot, in good conscience, look away when the parent company of Rockstar gets away with some of the most deplorable behavior in the entire industry. So again, please share this video around. And you know what? If you don't feel like sharing my video around specifically, then share GamingDamned's video around. At the very least, just talk about this. Let people know that this is happening. Okay, so you might be wondering, why should I do that? What will this accomplish? Here's the thing. Everything. And I mean, basically everything. Maybe like there's a 0.1% exception. But just about everything in the video game industry revolves around the almighty dollar. And bad PR means a potential loss in revenue. To put it simply, they're not gonna stop engaging in this kind of shady and scummy behavior unless people put an end to it. And the way we do that is by attacking their image. Bad image, bad revenue. The fact of the matter is, a business behemoth like Take-Two Interactive is never gonna face the consequences they deserve unless we make that happen.